Hey, welcome back everybody. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name is Kepley. Today's Tuesday, May 9th, and in today's video, I wanted to cover a new investment or a new opportunity out there in social media that I think you might be interested in. It's called Steem It, okay? And if you're not familiar with it, what it is, it's a social media platform that's tied in and basically created through a network called blockchain. Now this refers to and is intertwined with like cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, for instance. Now the cool thing about Steem It is that because it works on a blockchain, you're paid by cryptocurrency. Okay, so whenever you make comments, whenever you create new materials, stuff like that, you're paid in the form of a cryptocurrency called Steem. Now, the thing I like about it is it's got exponential growth due to the fact that everything's networked on a blockchain. Now, I shot another video on Bitcoin not too long ago, so you can check that out if you want. Just subscribe to my channel. But in that video, I talk about the blockchain a little bit and how you have people out there who are mining Bitcoin. Okay? Now, mining Bitcoin, you have to create it through programming algorithms, and that's part of the blockchain. So when I refer to the blockchain in social media with Steem It, it works in a similar effect, but it's based upon the content that you create and the comments that you make on other people's social media platforms as well. So that's what I really like about Steem It. It offers way more incentive to get involved with it rather than, say, going with like Facebook, Google, Twitter, Reddit, ones like that. And the reason why is because Facebook, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if you go to Facebook and you try to get more exposure, you have to click on something called boost your post. And basically what that is, it's a way for Facebook to go ahead and get more money off you because they charge you to get more exposure. Now, with Steem It, you don't have any of that taking place. All right? I'm not saying that Facebook is necessarily bad. It's good for businesses, but those businesses, again, still have to pay a service charge to promote and advertise on Facebook. With Steem It, you're paid in the form of cryptocurrency based off of a blockchain. Okay? So it's all based upon a community of people interacting with each other. I'm not going to go into too much detail today and explain everything about Steem It because that would take way too long, but I will shoot another video at a later date explaining more details and the interconnectings of Steem It and how that works. But just to basically give you some confirmation on why you probably want to look at Steem It as an investment, not only in your time and energy, but with the cryptocurrencies, is because, again, with the stock market the way it is right now, and with monetary policy that's in place from the Federal Reserve, there's just way too much risk, in my personal opinion, to be, getting involved with stocks when they're way overvalued. Now, if you look at your asymmetrical risk reward as an investor, normally you want to invest in things that give you a substantial reward with little risk, right? Well, in the stock market right now, your reward is probably going to be only about 1 to 2% growth. It might be a little bit more than that, but you'd have to stay in for a longer period of time. And your risk that's involved with that is that sometime here in the next, I would say 6 months to a year, you're looking at the stock markets taking a nosedive. All right? All you have to do is go back and just look at what happened over the past week. The Federal Reserve, or not the Federal Reserve, but the government was talking about a government shutdown because the government couldn't fund itself up until past June. So after June, the government was going to be out of cash. Well, Donald Trump, came to save the day basically and funded the government all the way up until September 30th. Now, when September 30th comes around, we're going to be right back to the same problem again, which is trying to figure out how we're going to fund the government, keep from spending even more than we already are to add to the national deficit while reducing some of the debts that we have to pay back. So this whole monetary game that's taking place is really, in my personal opinion here, it's very fragile. Could fall apart at any minute. The stock market is confused pretty much on a daily basis. So there's a lot of people out there trying to, even professional day traders trying to guess what the market's going to do. And even the professional day traders are starting to come forward now, going, saying, guys, you might want to think about getting out of the markets, because we're having a hard time making profits as well. And when you have professional day traders saying that, you might want to listen up a little bit, because they know more about day trading than we do as retail investors. So it's just another reason to look into cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, just over the past few weeks, blew past $1,500 for its first time. So it's gaining popularity. Silver and gold are still going to be a safe haven asset to look to when a stock market crash takes place. So you want to look at other investments outside the stock market right now. There are still some stocks that you can invest in, and indexes that you can invest in with the stock market, but those options are dwindling by the day. And the only ones really that I'll even look at are junior mining stocks, gold indexed, some paper contracts on silver and gold, but that's really about it. Everything else is overvalued. My asymmetrical risk reward that I'm going to take getting involved with stocks right now, the risk is just way too high for the reward. So that's what my channel is about, is trying to help people make educated decisions on what it is they want to invest in. And what I'm telling you here in this video is that you might want to look into some cryptocurrencies and safe haven assets and start preparing yourself so that you can profit when this business cycle and this wealth cycle ends. All right, because if you haven't heard me say this before, I'll say it again. Cycles are psychological, meaning they're psychological, and then they're psychological, meaning they're based on emotions, and when people get scared, they tend to sell off. So if you know this about markets, you can do something about it. You can start preparing by going into other things that are going to give you better returns over time while the stock markets are coming down, okay? And those have historically always been safe haven assets. So what I'm going to do here with Steem It is just give you 3 reasons why you might want to get involved with these. I've already covered a couple of them. The monetary policy, it's not going to change, okay? The Federal Reserve, nothing is going to change with what they're doing. The only way they can sustain the current trajectory that we're on right now is to basically print up more money. So if you look at Obama, over his 8 years in office, he took the national deficit from 10 trillion close to 20 trillion. Okay, so he almost doubled it. In order for Trump to sustain where we're at right now in regards to monetary policy, he is going to have to double what Obama did just to keep the whole thing going. So he's going to have to add, if he can be in office for at least 8 years, he's going to have to add at least probably close to $20 trillion to the deficit just to keep the whole thing going. Guys, it's unsustainable. It cannot last. It cannot keep going. The stock market, I just don't think it's going to keep going up and up and up forever. And for those people who are just solely invested in 401ks and stocks or equities, they're going to find out, if they're not getting off the train right now, they're going to find out sometime soon, just how bad that's going to be. And if you're listening to this channel, you're one of the smarter few. You already know it's time to get out. Now, where do you go? Again, it's the safe haven assets and that sort of thing. With the monetary policy, though, through the Fed, a lot of people are asking about interest rates and where they think those are going to go. Come June, they have another FOMC meeting, or a Federal Open Market Committee. I don't think they're going to be able to raise rates, so I would suspect that they're going to keep those right around 0.75 or 1%. But here's the thing with monetary policy. Even with the expansion of money printing, okay, and adding to the national deficit, the Fed cannot raise those interest rates, because if they do, they're not going to even be able to pay the interest on the credit card that they have. All right, if you take a look at the national, the national debt that we have compared to the national GDP, we're already 107% over when you take the debt and compare it to the GDP. So we don't even have enough money coming in to pay on the annual debt, which is a severe problem as well. So that's just one reason why you want to look at things like Steem It. Again, it's an investment in your time and energy to create the content and make comments and stuff like that. So if you've got a YouTube channel, you might want to highly think about getting over there, and start creating some content over there and actually getting rewarded for it much more so than you will on any of these other platforms. Because what they're doing right now over there, in my personal opinion, I think is revolutionary. Number two is there's more earning potential, like I said. So not to go too much in detail, but basically the way it works is that you have something called Steem Power that you can create by creating comments on other people's social media platforms, creating your own content as well. So you gain steam. This steam power is basically a way for you to create and have a greater influence on other people's social media platforms. So like when you go to like someone's content or something like that, it gets boosted up higher in the rankings because you have more influence. So the more steam power you have, the better it is for you, because you can convert that steam power into what they call steam dollars. Steam dollars is just theoretically a way for you to be able to take your steam and either cash out in US dollars or convert it over to, say, a different currency if you want. Okay? I like that about this platform, because there's no other platform out there really that offers that as far as social media. The third one is this decentralized. Okay, so I talked about the blockchain. The reason why Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies are decentralized and out of the government's control is because they expand and grow off of communities of people. All right. So in regards to the blockchain that I explained earlier with Bitcoin mining, that's a way for Bitcoin to grow and for more currency to be created, and therefore the government, it's not hackable. They can't control it. All right, Steem, it's the same concept, the same thing. Now I don't know how long Steem will stay around, guys. I really don't. This is just another currency that's come about just in the last few years. So will it last long term? I have no idea, but just based off of the narrative for cryptocurrencies as a whole right now, and for people wanting to find a much safer place to put their US dollars and convert it to a sound money, cryptocurrencies are the place to go for that, along with silver and gold. Okay, and if you look at track records for a lot of these currencies right now, some of them are just exploding. And Steem, I believe Steem is got that potential, because it's not only a currency that's being paid out in the form of Steem, which is the cryptocurrency, but it's a social media platform that has a blockchain interconnected in the network that helps expand and grow the currency as a whole. All right, so it has huge earning potential. If you're not over there, I would highly recommend going to check it out. You can join me on my social media platform over there. I'm taking a lot of the content that I'm posting here on YouTube now, and I'm putting it over there. So if you join, I would love to see you guys over there. And that's all I have for today. Remember, these are today's investors' investing tips. And income is the outcome, guys. All right? I'll talk to you later.